All right, guys, want to welcome everyone. This is Robert Blackman, and I've got a really exciting guest tonight. His name is Jordan Adler. He doesn't need any introduction. Jordan, I was trying to think, when did you and I first meet? Was it 2012 at Eric Worre's event?
That sounds about right. So
Yeah.
what? Yeah, about 7-8 years ago, I think.
7 8 years ago. I think I'd heard of you before. I liked your T-shirt, and thank you. You'd sent me that Freedom. That's incredible. Now, you told me you bought the rights to that or something?
Yeah, we tracked the guy down. I saw it on a poster in the 90s, and I remember the guy's name that had it, and I tracked the guy down and offered him a little money for the image, and so he turned it over to me.
What an incredible gift and idea that you got there, man. That's awesome.
Thank you. It's fun.
Yeah. But I think I'd heard of you, gosh, 2007, 2008. You're a distributor and one of the top, if not the top rep in send out cards, correctly?
I'm the top distributor in send out cards, and I don't know. I guess we met while I was with send out cards. You knew about Excel, but you didn't. But
yeah,
we had never met during those days.
Right. Now, when did you start in send out cards?
I joined send out cards in 2004, late 2004. Actually, the day after Christmas. You know, when everybody else is out there saying that the holidays are slow, and they're taking breaks and they're running around doing other stuff.
Right.
I actually got sponsored that the week of the holidays, and that for me was a big lesson, just because, I got excited about it and joined, but it was a lesson because heck, if you missed the opportunity to sponsor somebody that was going to put a couple 100,000 people into your group. Because you were taking a break during the holidays,
Yeah, exactly. Now, when did you start in the profession? What year?
So I actually joined my first network marketing company in 1981.
Okay.
Probably around the same time you joined your first company, right?
Yeah, 79, 80 was me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but I didn't sign up a distributor until 1995 was it. So I joined in 81, but my first distributor I signed up in 1992. My first distributor I signed up in 1992.
So 11 years?
11 years before I got my first distributor. Yeah.
Okay, I want you to say that again, because there's a lot of people on the call that just fell out of their chair, and they also go, oh my gosh, he's just like me. So say that again.
All right. So I joined my first company in 81. I was with that company for about 3 months. The owner of the company was very old and he died. And then I joined my next company about 7-8 months later. I got discouraged because I couldn't get anybody to even sit down and take a look at it. I joined my next company probably 6 months later. And I went and I did that every year. I joined a different company for my first 10 years. I was with 11 different network marketing companies. Every one of them, after 2 or 3 or 4 months, I would get discouraged. I felt like I couldn't do it. And so I would quit. And then in 1992, I joined my 12th company. And that company, I finally, it's cliche, but everybody says it, when opportunity and preparation come together. So during those 10 years, I was, listening to audiobooks, listening to audios, reading books, and going to events. And I learned the business of network marketing. And at the same time, I began to understand the value of nurturing a long-term relationship. And so when those two things came together in 1992, I finally figured out how to give a simple presentation, how to set up an appointment. And I started, showing my business 3 times a week on my lunches. I had a job, didn't pay me very much money, but I would show the business on my lunches, and I showed the business 3 times a week. Every week, I kept track, and I would sign up about an average of about 1 person a month. And that was my goal. My goal was to sign up 1 person a month for 2 years.
Now, was anybody in your family ever in network marketing?
No, my dad hated network marketing, and we fought about it my whole life until I started making money. I knew that I couldn't talk about network marketing ever with my father, otherwise it would turn into a fight. But after I started making money and I started buying him stuff and taking him on trips, I bought him a brand new car. His car had 190,000 miles.
Wow.
And the brakes were going out, and I shipped a car to his front door.
What type of car did you buy your dad?
I bought my dad, he loved Buick, so I bought him a Buick Lucerne and a brand new Buick. And he never bought new cars. So, he got a new car delivered to his front door. And just to give you an idea of his mindset, when the guy showed up with the car and gave him the keys, dropped the car off, my dad my dad called me afterwards, and he's extremely happy. And he said, Jordan, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to tip the guy, so I gave him $5. So my father gave
I
a
love
guy
that.
who delivered a car to his front door $5. I'm like, Dad.
Now, did he ever express any like guilt that you got in the car, or any remorse that he had doubted you all those years?
Not really, but he was very, the last 15 years of his life, he was really proud of me, and he would tell all of his friends about me, and he would request copies of my book so he could give them away.
Wow.
To people. So yeah, and it wasn't that way for the first, I don't know, 20 years. It wasn't that way at all. Yeah.
Now, what was his biggest beef with network marketing that he didn't like?
Well, he would just say the things that people say, that generation would say, like, it sounds like a pyramid, or it's a pyramid scheme, or only the people at the top make money. The kind of stuff that you hear everybody say that's old school, that doesn't really understand what network marketing really is, that really a novice. And, I think part of it was reading my book. I think that helped my dad. Reading the book.
Did you ever draw the circles for him or take him to a meeting?
I did. He had come to meetings, and that made it worse. That made it worse.
It made the fights even stronger, huh?
And I couldn't leave that story out of the book. And I truthfully, when he read the story about my relationship with him and how we used to fight about it, it didn't make him real happy.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yes, yeah.
But I had to put it in the book. So, but he was still proud of it, and he would ask me for 3 or 4 or 5 copies at a time, and he'd give them out to his friends.
How neat. Now during those 7, 8, 9, 10 years when you first started until you started making money, why didn't you just quit and give up? What kept you continue to join?
No, the problem was I did quit. I quit every company I got involved in.
Right. But you didn't quit joining, right? Yeah, you quit the business, but you weren't a total quitter.
I was focused on. I mean, the truth is, I was just focused on wanting a residual check, because I saw the freedom that could come with having a residual check. So I kept focusing on that. And the only thing out there that someone like me could do, because I had no money, I was always behind the 8 ball financially all my life until I got successful in network marketing. I would just go back to, I need to figure out how to make this work, because it would provide me with a residual income, which meant freedom. It meant the ability to travel the world. It meant the ability to take time off when I want to take time off. One of my first dreams was to be able to take a week a month and go to the beach.
Right.
Every one vacation a month for a week, and I couldn't do that working a job. And
is that where you came up with the name of the book, Beach Money?
Well, no, not really. The name of the book came from, I used to, back in the days of running classified ads, I used to run classified ads in the newspaper, and I would make them as small as 3 lines is all I could afford, like literally 3 lines.
Right.
And I'd make it as small as possible. And it was a stretch, most of the time to put the ad in there. I could only run it once, but whenever I used the title, I don't know where I got it, but whenever I put in the title Beach Money, I got like 20 times more response than any other title. And so I remembered that all my life. And so when the book was just a bunch of stories that I had used on my Monday night training calls. And I just pulled it all together and made it a book. And then I needed a title for it. And I thought, why not? Beach Money says it all. I mean, it speaks to people. It speaks to people that are interested in what we have as a result. We have a solution to a lot of people's problems, and Beach Money speaks to those people, the people that have those problems. Yeah.
Now, once you saw the send out card presentation, or you were presented with the send out cards opportunity, how long did it take you to make a decision to join Send Out Cards?
So I saw a video. I was sent a video, and this was before you could send a video over the internet. So I was sent a video in the form of a DVD.
Okay.
And when I watched it, I got excited because I felt like there were millions of people out there that could benefit from the service. And I know if you have a service that millions of people could benefit from, I also like the uniqueness of it. There was really no competition.
Right.
I loved that. But it was very new, and it was very prehistoric in terms of the technology the technology back then really wasn't, the technology wasn't caught up to the idea. So it was a struggle developing the technology necessary to actually to be able to deliver a unique individual card. Every piece that goes out of our company is unique. So every single product is unique. And so to make that work was a real challenge. It requires some real sophisticated technology. It's easier to do today than it was back then.
Right, exactly.
But I saw a big opportunity because I thought it's something that fewer and fewer people are doing, but it has a really powerful impact on people. And I knew that. And I also know that your Rolodex, old school, the kind that you find in a thrift shop today where you put the business cards in, your Rolodex is your most valuable. You have one, really? Do you really?
This right here?
Yeah, check it out.
Rolodex, baby.
I love it. Yeah. So according to Harvey McKay, he's a billionaire.
Yep.
He said that your Rolodex is your most valuable asset. And when I saw send out cards, I thought this is just an electronic Rolodex that allows you to act on it. Like most Rolodexes or most online CRMs, you can store stuff in there, but there's no real action that's really meaningful. Like, yeah,
right.
You can send people into an email blast, but it doesn't have the same impact as sending them a card where they go to their mailbox and they pull it out and they open it up. It's a personal message written to them. I knew that idea was powerful, and I knew that a lot of people would want to do it. So that's why I got excited.
Right. Well, and if you've ever watched any of my stuff, I'm a big direct mail guy. I came from a printing background. I always tell people, look, go out to your mailbox. I want you to reach in and grab all your mail, and I want you to clutch it to your chest. Don't look at it. And I want you to walk into your house, and I want you to throw it in the trash. Right. And I want you to count how long it's going to take you before you go open the trash and go read it. And now compare that to emails, voicemails, and even text messages today, because now text messages are becoming what email was early on. And then try to do that 7 days in a row, and you can't do it. You have to read your mail before you throw it away. And that is still the most unique marketing method known to man today.
Absolutely. And the stories are just incredible of business people that acquired large business accounts and sales as a result of a simple thank you card. Yes. It's the most powerful thing that a business person can do, low cost, and it also has the greatest impact.
Yes.
And because most people don't do it. Most salespeople don't send a thank you card. Just a simple thank you card. Thank you. Very nice to meet you. Thanks for taking time to meet with me.
It does. It's touching because I know whenever we get something in the mail from you, I don't look at anything else. And I go, Sherry goes, what's in the mail? I go, we got something from Jordan, come over here. And so we open it together and read it together and go, oh man, that's so nice. And I go, man, we got to start doing that, that kind of stuff. So let me go back to my one question, because I want to stair-step this up before we end here tonight. You watched the DVD, and then how long did you call your sponsor that immediately the day, or how long did it take for you to call him and sign up?
He was very aggressive with me as far as getting. I was dragging my feet a little bit, just because it wasn't at the beginning. It wasn't a real high priority until he was trying to reach me and trying to give me a presentation, and I kept on getting cards from him in the mail, and then finally after I watched the DVD, then I called him, and I actually got on an airplane and went to corporate headquarters and met the founder and walked around the headquarters and all that. Yeah.
Now, was that Cody back then still?
Yeah, it was Cody. Yeah, Cody. And back then it was in almost like a double wide manufactured, home. That wasn't a home, but it was a manufactured structure. And I sat in his office. He had a tiny little office with a chair, and I sat in there and talked to him and asked him questions. And I thought to myself, it sounds, and he showed me, back then it was done on like a $24,000 copier. Today we've got, our machines are $1 million machines, and we've got 4 of them. We can do 1 million cards a day, and back then we were doing 200 cards a day.
Wow.
But I saw the potential, and I didn't know enough about Cody or their team as to whether they could pull it off long term and handle growth. I didn't know. It just turned out that they were able to do that. Yeah. Because I had, I signed up 38 distributors in my first 5 weeks, which is approximately one a day.
Wow.
And because I signed up, and so I was showing it 5 to 8 times a day. And we didn't have online technology like we do today. You couldn't do this back then. This was just 15 years ago. So I was meeting with a lot of people in person and doing a lot of three-way calls and sending people stuff. And so, but by my fifth week, I was signing up one a day. And so by the end of my 10th week, I'd signed up 38 people. And then I settled into about one a week, signing about one new distributor up per week. And then by my 5th month, my income and business just took off. Really took off.
Now your sponsor sent you some cards first and sent you a DVD. Did you duplicate that methodology to get to your success, or what was your approach to get those people to come in?
Well, when my first week in the business, so it was Christmas week. So New Year's, I had missed Christmas for sending a card, but New Year's was coming around.
Right.
I missed New Year's by just a couple of days, but I knew if I got a New Year's card out, before the end of the year, they'd get it on the 2nd or 3rd or the 4th. So I sent out 3, and I started emailing people like crazy, asking for their mailing addresses. So I emailed over 300. I actually probably emailed into 1,000 people and got 350.
Wow.
350 addresses, starting putting them into my contact manager and sending them cards. So I sent out about 350 cards my first week, and I can still go into my send out cards and go back to that month and look at every single card that I sent back then.
How cool.
So about half those cards were individual cards, and about half of them were what we call system sends or group sends, where I was sending a holiday card to a whole bunch of people. But then my phone started ringing. These cards didn't have a sales pitch in them. And there's a lesson in that. There was no sales pitch. It was just a card to reconnect with them. And I put my cell number in there. And a lot of them were, I have stacks of business cards from people that I collected over the years. Some of those people I wasn't even texting yet. Some of these people I just emailed them and asked for their mailing address. And some of those business cards had mailing addresses on them. So I just sent out a bunch of cards, and then people started calling me, and then I started running this idea by them. And like if you were one of the people that I had a business card for, I knew I had met you, because I wouldn't physically have your business card if I hadn't met you. So in the card, I would say, hey, Robert, I don't know if you remember me. This is Jordan Adler. I found your business card. I just wanted to reconnect. Hope you're doing great. Why don't you give me a call sometime?
Wow.
And I put my phone number in, and I got a call back from a percentage of those people just to reconnect, because it's a business thing to do, networking, right? And when we had the conversation, I asked them, what do you think of this idea? So I'd ask you, Robert, what do you think of this idea? The ability to go on your computer, we didn't have smartphones back then, to be able to go on your computer, pick a card from a card catalog, open it, type in a personal message, pick the font, put in the address, hit send, and a card would be printed for you, stuffed in an envelope, sealed, sent, and stamped. Sealed, stamped, and sent for you. What do you think of that idea? And everybody said it was a great idea. And so that's how my business started.
That's awesome. Now, I've talked to a lot of, leaders and $1 million earners, and there's like 3 things that resonates with all of them. And I want to see if any of these resonate with you. And you and I haven't talked about these questions beforehand. So I know it's kind of like I'm dumping all these questions on you. Is number 1, they said that they stayed when everybody left.
Yeah.
Number 2, they fell in love with the owners or the owner. And number 3, they fell in love with the cause or the movement. Do any of those 3 resonate with you?
They all do. I think it's important every single leader in network marketing that's ever created any kind of a significant residual check, they, instead of throwing in the towel when things get tough, they look at it as, what do I got to do to fix this problem? Mm-hmm. And so they work harder. They don't get depressed. Sometimes they get depressed. I've gotten depressed many times.
Well, all right. So I'm going to ask you a quick question. Has send out cards ever had any problems?
We every 2 or 3 years we've had major problems. Problems that most people looking from the outside looking in would say this company's never going to make it.
Right.
But we figure it out. And so I look at myself, even before I was a top earner, I look at myself as the owner. I am the owner. And so I've got to if I want this company to survive, I got to figure out what it's going to take. So I collaborate with the other leaders, which includes the owner, and we figure out what we need to do to make it happen. there have been multiple times in my network marketing career where we've had mass exodus of leaders, and not everybody, but
Right.
large numbers. And we're going to prove to the world that there's something significant here. And it's all about the cause. It's all about the mission. So yeah,
Well,
that's
and
true.
it seems like that's the belief that if you are if you love the owner or you've met them, you develop a relationship with them, and you can create that cause or that belief, that you believe in that movement enough that even if the sales dip down, your belief doesn't dip down.
Sure. And also that absolutely. There are times where I didn't get along with the owner.
Sure.
But we worked through it, just like a relationship, right?
Butted
We
heads.
what? Yeah, there's
You guys
times
butted heads.
Yeah, and there are times that we had differences of opinion where I felt we should do this and he felt we should do that. And I ultimately understand that he's the one that funded the company and put the millions of dollars into it to get it started.
He took the risk. He took the risk.
It's got to be his decision. I can give him my input, and we have that mutual respect. He allows me the space to tell him what I think, and sometimes he doesn't agree, and he has to make the final decision because ultimately it's his company. So, yes. So we've been through that over the years, and I really do think a big part of it is being committed enough to not let your emotions overtake. There's a guy I know, Robert, that was making $100,000 a month in his company, and he got in a fight with his founder, and out of principle, he quit and gave away his income. It took him 10 years to recover from that.
Wow.
10 full years. And he's still not fully recovered. But it was an ego clash, and I always thought, the way I've always looked at it is, sometimes I have to be like, you know what, Cody, you started this company and you see the big picture bigger than I can see because I'm a distributor.
Right.
And so ultimately you have to make the decision. I'll share with you what I think, but you're the one that, and I publicly say on leadership calls, we talk about that because there's certain people that will feel like their way is the way to go. And if they don't get their way, they're out.
Right.
And those people don't make it. Those people don't have a big residual check because they're constantly bouncing from company to company.
Exactly. Well, one other question for you before we wrap up, and I'll ask you another, just one more, how to share your information, how do people to get a hold of you. I know at Eric's event, it's really ironic you and I met for the first time, and the title of my speech was How to Use Direct Mail in an All-Digital World. And that was 2012. So tell people how, why should they join Send Out Cards when everyone says it's an all-digital world? How can postcards make a difference?
Well, that's a great question. And I understand where it comes from. Everybody's doing it this way. My belief has always been, if everybody's doing it this way, do this.
Right.
And that's how you stand out. That's how you're unique, And the truth is, we have thousands of users, but the truth is the majority, and when I say the majority, I'm talking 95% plus of business people and salespeople, whether you're a network marketer, a salesperson, whatever you sell, 95% don't do what we do. They don't send thank you cards. They don't send nice to meet you cards. They don't celebrate other people's lives, express appreciation in the written form.
Right.
And because of that, when you do it, it sets you apart. It makes you unique. And it's a huge value proposition for the people that use it. They see the results from using it, as long as it comes from the heart.
Okay, well, that's good. Now, if someone wanted to get a hold of you personally and they were interested in Send Out Cards, where would they go?
Simple. They can either follow me on Instagram is probably the best way. Beach Money Jordan is my handle on Instagram.
Okay.
Or they can send me a message through beachmoney.com.
Okay. Now, if someone's a big leader on here and they have lots of people, or your company owners listening to this, you guys have any kind of white label options or any other kind of options for them that aren't involved with Send Out Cards?
We do. We have a separate company called Sendogo. And Sendogo is 100% white label. It's not connected to Send Out Cards. And they can, if they're looking to be able to integrate a card and gift sending system through their existing CRM, we have the ability to do that integration. Absolutely.
Okay. And would they just contact you directly for that as well, too?
Just send me a message and I'll get them connected.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, that would be cool for someone watching this and going, yeah, but I don't want to promote Send Out Cards, but I want to use this methodology. So now there's a way that they can do that.
Yeah, it would be something that would involve their whole company versus just them. But yes, there's a way to do that.
Okay, very good. So,
Yeah.
okay, so in today's, and we're going to talk about local now, or local time. Today's March 17th, 2020. You're in Vegas, and we're all on this coronavirus thing. Aren't you and I both glad that we chose network marketing years ago because we already work from home? Isn't it amazing?
It wasn't because we were smart.
Right.
It's kind of how things worked out. But the truth is, today more than ever, especially with all this quarantine stuff going on, and you can't go. I'm on Vegas. Vegas is a ghost. There's nobody out there. Like there's nobody walking on the strip. There's no cars. Not one single car.
I've been following Eric's post, and he says like 5% occupancy in the hotels right now.
I'm looking at Mandalay Bay in New York, in the MGM, and I can see the full Raiders arena. I can't see a single car out there on the strip, not one. So it's a ghost strip now. But in this environment, to have a residual check coming deposited directly into your account, and then also the ability to work, with the technology we have today, the ability to work 100% from home without having, a lot of people, they have in their mind that you have to do meetings. Well, I don't do meetings very rarely anymore. Once in a while, but very rarely. Our business is built online, and you can do that today. And so for somebody that really wants a business that requires no human contact right now, and the ability to have a residual check that comes in whether you go to work or not, takes a little work to make that happen, but it can be done today online.
Right. I was listening to the president the other night, and he was saying maybe July, August, we should be at the tail end of this. So then I'm going, okay, we got April, May, June, July, August. So in 5 months. So if this thing really gets crazy and this is going to happen for 3, 4, 5 months, there's a lot of people that have been sent home without a paycheck. But if somebody was in a position that they wanted to run with you and get after it, what could somebody really, is there a way, when I originally thought of send out cards, I go, how can I make money sending out a card for $1 or $2? Is there a way that you could really make some money and send out cards?
We have it's not a dollar card. It's a subscription. So it's like any other business. If you're buying nutritional supplements, you're paying $50, $100 a month for that. And there's residual attached to that, right? We have the same for $97 a month. You can send unlimited cards, including postage, anywhere in the world. And so we have a $100 product that is a subscription that people pay, and that allows you to send kindness out. And I'll tell you what, the world needs kindness more today. They need appreciation. They need reassurance more than ever before. And we can do that through the words that we put in our cards and the pictures. Hit the send button, and that makes people's day just a little bit better. And then you share it with other people. And absolutely, there's an opportunity to make money. It's not a get rich quick. None of them are. And if anybody ever tells you you're going to make a lot of money real fast, I would run the other direction, because A, you can't do that. And B, you can't do that from a regulatory standpoint. And B, there's something else going on. If you're making money real fast in a network marketing company, there's usually something else going on that you don't want to be part of.
Well, exactly. And what I tell people right now, I go, look, even if the coronavirus dissipates into the air in July, what's happened now is that there's been a foundation laid for everybody, from millennials all the way up to the baby boomers, that this may happen again. And if you survive this one, shouldn't you plant some seeds now? So in the next 12 to 24 months, if it happens again, you now have a residual income that you didn't have during the coronavirus. And that's what I've been telling everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, it creates a backup plan for you. It's plan B. It started off as plan B for me, and then it turned in for the past now 22 years. This is what I've been doing full time. And I don't even like to use the word full time, because, I work probably 2 to 4 hours a day, if you call that full time, because
whenever I see you travel, you don't seem like you're struggling when you're out traveling.
No, you get paid for what you start, not for what you do. So it's not like part-time, full-time. It's not like that. It's if you're working 10 hours a month and you're getting paid, say, $60,000 a year, are you full-time or part-time? It doesn't fit in this model. That's a job term. But I've been successfully unemployed now since 1996. I haven't had a job since 1996.
Isn't
I
that
don't even
awesome, man?
know what I would do. I don't know what I would do if I had to go out and get a job. I couldn't work for anybody. It wouldn't last a week.
Well, your resume early on would look like you couldn't keep a job with all the programs you joined, and then afterwards they'd be looking at it and go, "What? Why are you leaving this job? It looks great."
Yeah. I love my life, and I tell you what, I've never once met anyone that has a large residual check that, they worked for it. It might have taken them 5 to 10 years to get to that point.
Right.
I've not met one of them that doesn't just carry a ton of joy around with them. Not one. They all love life. They're living life to the fullest. They're doing things that most people just dream about.
Yes.
I got my helicopter license. I was able to write a book, which is a dream for a lot of people.
Yes.
I'm scheduled to go to space with Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic program, and all these different things that are going on that I couldn't have done sitting in a cubicle,
Right.
or not. I barely could pay my bills. I mean, I really couldn't pay my bills. That's why I had so much credit card debt.
Man.
So that was back in the 90s.
That's right.
So
well, if you were going to give someone watching this that's kind of was like you and I mean, I joined 25 programs my first 5 years. It took me 5 years to make.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was a serial MLMer, I was just doing it 2 or 3 at a time to see which one would, here's 3 programs, pick one. Which one do you like? I thought I was the menu approach. We don't just have chicken. We got chicken, we got steak, we got seafood, we got vegetarian. It's a buffet of MLMs. I thought that was.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Nobody do that. Yeah. So what a word of encouragement, we got about 2 minutes here. What a word of encouragement would you give someone watching this saying, yeah, Robert, that's easy for you. That's easy for you, Jordan. But now they're finding out it wasn't. So what would you say to someone to encourage?
I would say that it's not always going to be easy. Sometimes it will be, but most of the time it won't be. And the second thing is that no matter where you are, no matter what position you're in, there's somebody that had it worse than you that made it.
Yeah.
And so you need to get around people that have done it. You need to read the stories. You need to read the stories that have been written by the people that went from a place of struggle to a place of triumph in this business. And there are many podcasts, video podcasts. There's many books that have been written. Unlike back when we got started, there were only like 2 or 3 books written on the topic. Today, there's hundreds.
Yes.
And if you read those stories, if you stay plugged in, it'll give you hope and give you the motivation needed to stick around long enough to see something good happen.
That's great. That's great. Well, Jordan, this has been wonderful. I know you and I could talk for hours, but I think this is a perfect time to stop. And I appreciate you taking part of your day and sharing some tidbits with us, man.
I adore you and Sherry, and I really appreciate your friendship, and thank you for inviting me on.
Hey, you're welcome, buddy. We appreciate you. Talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.